We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. After years of unequal treatment, taxation without representation, degradation, and inequality, the colonists took a stand. They started a revolution, one that had no clear beginning and has yet to have a clear end. America was and is revolutionary. The revolution will never end, as justice has not yet been fully realized for all. The revolution was the pursuit of independence, justice, and equality, for and amongst all individuals, in law, government, and consideration, ideals which have not yet been fully realized in the United States of America.
Overcome someday. Oh.
As Walt Whitman would say of America,
America, center of equal daughters, equal sons, all alike and good, grown, ungrown, young or old, strong, ample, fair, enduring, capable, rich, perennial with the earth, with freedom, law, and love.
during the 7 Years' War, known also as the French and Indian War, George Washington, as well as many other prominent colonial militiamen, lost their military standings due to partial British laws. Parliament declared that no man in the colonial army could serve with a ranking above captain, clearly a discriminatory act towards the American colonists, who were demoted from their well-earned ranks. The demotion of colonial soldiers is one of the first examples of the unequal treatment that the American colonists would be continually subjected to by the British. In the year 1765, Grenville and Parliament passed the Stamp Act, which was a major offense to the American colonists. The Stamp Act required that a stamp be placed on all goods in colonial America. The act targeted all middle-class colonists. It was unjust due to the fact that the colonists were not represented in the government, which was imposing these grievous taxes on them. The injustice was furthered by the refusal of the British government to give the colonists a trial by jury that was afforded to British citizens everywhere, one of the rights held most dear by all. The burden of having to be proven innocent as opposed to guilty was an injustice which was thrust upon the colonists. American colonists fought to repeal the Stamp Act, an eventual success which unified the colonists. However, Parliament retaliated the repeal by placing a new unjust act on the colonists, the Declaratory Act. The Declaratory Act gave total sovereignty over the colonists to Britain. Again, the colonists were subjected to unequal treatment by the British. Various other acts that imposed taxes on the colonists included the Sugar Act, the Townshend Act, the Tea Act, and the Intolerable Acts, which further discriminated against the already disgruntled colonists. The Continental Congress first formed in 1774 to repeal the Intolerable Acts. Forming the Continental Congress unified the colonists and gave them the strength and power they needed to pursue a revolution. On March 5, 1770, a group of 60 Bostonians taunted and threw snowballs at 10 Redcoats in an attempt to avenge the death of an 11-year-old boy who was killed 10 days earlier. The result of this encounter, which will live on in infamy as the Boston Massacre, was 11 Bostonian casualties. Later, when the Redcoats were put on trial, only 2 were found guilty. This furthered the unequal treatment of the colonists as opposed to the Redcoats. On December 16, 1773, nearly 100 Bostonians disguised themselves as Native Americans, invaded the docked ships in Boston Harbor, and dumped 342 chests of tea into the water. From the shore, a large crowd supported the Bostonians. The British chose to sabotage the colonists by taxing their most valued beverage. In essence, the Boston Tea Party sent the British a message: take your tea and shove it. Overall, the disgruntled colonists sought a change after they were not given equal rights and consideration from the British.
You say you want a revolution.
Pioneers. Oh, pioneers. Come, my tan-faced children. Follow well in order. Get your weapons ready. Have you your pistols? Have you your sharp-edged axes, pioneers, oh pioneers? For we cannot tarry here. We must march, my darlings. We must bear the brunt of danger. We, the youthful, sinewy races, all the rest on us depend. Pioneers, oh pioneers.
On April 19, 1775, the day after the midnight ride of Paul Revere, war broke out, with a shot around the world. The blood that was shed at Lexington and Concord in April of 1775 forever changed the map. In this first battle of the American Revolution, upwards of 20,000 Minutemen swarmed the outnumbered British. In June of 1775, the colonists seized Bunker Hill. While entrenched, the colonists fought off 3,000 redcoats while only numbering 1,500. Even though they weren't equal in number, the colonists prevailed. On July 4th, 1776, the Americans formally signed the Declaration of Independence, marking their freedom from Britain. Various battles hereafter, including George Washington's crossing of the Delaware on Christmas Day, would eventually lead to the British surrender at Yorktown and the end of the Revolutionary War. However, this was not truly victory for all, as minorities in our country today still fight for their equal rights as Americans. The American Revolution was fought to gain equality for all. While this has not yet come to pass, we strive for freedom in the future. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
We shall